Welcome back. As we promised in our intro, we are going to speak about the Arab diplomatic activities, and particularly here in Egypt. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received recently a number of high-ranking or top Arab guests here in Egypt, starting with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Emir of Qatar. Last but not least, yesterday it was the UAE Foreign Minister. So it's all for the sake or for the best interest of the Arab nations, particularly before the American Arab Summit, which is going to take place in Riyadh in a few days from now, to shed more light on these important visits and diplomatic activities. We are very much delighted to have with us via phone Professor Dr. Mohamed Abdel Azim, Professor of Political Science. A very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Sir, as I was speaking about these diplomatic activities and the flurry of Arab diplomatic activities in specific, tell me your vision regarding the timing of those very important visits by the top guests I mentioned before the American Arab Summit, which is going to take place in Saudi Arabia in the very near future.
First of all, as we can really figure out this different kind of crisis, even for not just for Egypt, for our Arab region, especially for the whole world too, in going through this delegate stages, which is with many restrictions of all levels, and in light of the world is still suffering from restrictions of COVID-19 and trying to recovering from this crisis, still is going Russian-Ukrainian crisis, with rated and casting the protection for everyone on all the east and west of the world. So in addition for all this global concerning, we can really figure out this crisis was continuing for a longer period, as we just mentioned, and all Arab countries still really discuss it, and there's many issues they're presenting for different kind of vital problems for the national security for all countries, for Gulf countries, and for Egypt, for most of which fights for Yemeni, for crisis, for Libya, and even for addition for central issues for Arab intention recently years too. There is we still have a very critical fight for Palestinian issues too, with a fight for crisis for Syrian people. So Egypt, water security too, one of the five which is representing for this, one of the challenges for the region. So which is emphasizes during this talks the importance of the role of Egypt and talks with different kind of the countries, the surrounding friendly relationship, and therefore for above all leaders of region to aware of importance of Arab unity, to need working together about the permanent of the coordination and cooperation to solving this critical problems and issues, and confronting the challenges for all region and the future to the political economic changes too.
Very well said, sir. But let's add to what you were saying. Also, the Palestinian cause was one of the top priorities, if I may say so, or top to the agenda of talks between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and all his Arab guests. This is to send a clear message that the Palestinian cause is going to remain on top of the Arab priorities, and supporting the Palestinian people to reach or support them in their legal fight or struggle to reach an independent Palestinian state with Al-Quds as its capital is going all the time to remain one of the main or top priorities. Would you please elaborate on that?
First of all, as we really could not understand that Egypt usually has a very critically and important attentions toward all Arab countries, because as we can figure out from all the visits and talks from Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and all Arab countries, we have, even just for all world countries, we have a diplomatic moves toward for political leadership and for European and Asian and Arab Gulf to presenting what the Palestinians talks going to be, especially for recently talks and presenting the role of to make an resolving and make an agenda for mostly Arab countries, especially we have a very important summit next mid of next month for Jeddah summit in Saudi Arabia, and that is going to representing mainly issues as we just read and have a figure out from the agenda. One of those Palestinians issues and how to that working together for this emphasize this receiving the interests of Arab nations and the civilized development progress for all the countries and leadership, those working together for this working, not just for Egypt, but even for last talks with Mr. Mohamed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and even talks with Mr. Tamim, the Prince of Qatar. So that's mostly of the talks representing the efforts coming by Egypt to working about these files too.
And all the visits witness signing protocols and discussing ways to boost cooperation, particularly in the fields of energy, investment, trade. And this is to say that Egypt has great potentials in these fields, in specific, sending another message that we are capable of doing so, and all to have a win-win situation. I mean, for the best interest of all peoples. True?
That's true. Really, I'm just agree about what you said, because in Egypt really representing the role of investment and the economically aspects for the mostly for Egyptian moves toward all the region countries. Especially, we are now talking about the global energy security, and mostly of the talks talk about that regarding the exchange of visiting with Saudi Arabia, even with Qatar, even today with Oman. So that the last of this actually talk place it is days to a member of most of the talks of strategic partnership between the countries, how to confirm the kind of leadership to strengthen the further transfer between the special strengths of the countries toward the belief about security coordination of infection of position to achieve the security stability for the countries of region is for mostly of except some just unconditionally circumstances in all over the world, and globally geopolitical risk which takes place even in here on our region. So and mostly we can really talk about this the security access for the Red Sea too, for the last talks with Mr. bin Salman, and how the Arab countries protection the maritime navigations, because it's directly reflection the European countries and ensure the achievement of the global energy security and protection to energy supplies.
Amen to what you're saying, sir, because all our top guests agreed that Egypt is the cornerstone or a pillar of security and stability in the region from all aspects, or from all strategic aspects, to be accurate. But sir, since we are speaking about stability, about security, about the energy security, food security, do you think that the Ukrainian Russian crisis is going to be on top of the agenda of talks in the coming Arab Summit because of the global crises which resulted from this struggle, which you've kindly said that it may last longer than we all expected, or longer than the world expected?
Actually, we just mentioned that it's unconditionally conditions really recently happened for the world, because we have figured and we faced two kind of crisis after COVID-19 and Russian-Ukrainian, when one of crisis continues to now, and it's going to make a new different security perspectives, because now mostly if reports talks about is one of one of the agendas coming by Mr. Biden for next month to make an extension for NATO, rule, and even for Middle Eastern membership for some countries. Even here, the invitations for some countries for this summit in Jeddah next month, coming to especially for Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, and other Gulf countries. That is one of aspects to make it like security. So Egypt, one, as you just mentioned, it's like it's a vital country, and it's a very key country, one of the key countries for in the region for the security, for the also region security. So that's what is mostly talks for Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi with Arab leaders recently coming to make like a unity agenda and interests toward some offers coming for the next summit, and even we don't really achieve a lot for other countries. All opportunities we got since 16th and 18th and 19th of last century, because most of the time we are talks with individuals' interests. But right now we might go into talk like with a leader of a region as Egypt, with the key countries toward their this power.
In other words, sir, we do not have the luxury of unilateral actions. We should cooperate and coordinate efforts to face the threats, if I may say, not even challenges, but real threats which are imposed on the planet, whether, as you've kindly mentioned, it was COVID-19 and its repercussions, and when it comes also to this issue regarding the Ukrainian-Russian struggle. Am I describing the situation in a correct manner?
Yeah, that's true, but we still have opportunities, because really international relations between countries is still, we give you a lot of opportunities, but you have to get as much as you can from what you have right now. One of those that is you already may try to persuading the countries of the region that is united, still working for that with just to achieve a lot for investment, for security aspect, even for we really have a lot of challenges as we know for our countries, not for Egypt alone, but we still have opportunity to make I'm not mentioned here for Arab unity as all the countries of Arab region, but mainly with some key states countries, as we really mentioned from the visiting. By coming by Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi right now from Oman, and last 2 days the visiting from Mr. Qatar to Egypt, and bin Salman 5 days ago. That is representing that Egypt working with those countries for Arab countries, and talks actually with Mr. Abdullah, the King of Jordan. So here is the point: how is you can really achieve and really, going to get opportunities from, what's a crisis of Russian Ukrainian going to make a pressure for United States and or even countries that just there are great need to get us aboard from the region countries here, especially from our Gulf countries, and to security the oil and the energy, and as you know, this energy power for those countries is very especially after the pressures coming by Mr. Putin from the Russian gas.
Well, Professor Dr. Mohamed Azim, Professor of Political Science, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day. Well, by this we come to the end of our episode. Stay tuned on Nile TV International for more updates, and for more details, please log on to www.nileinternational.net. You were in the company of my dear colleague Amal Mukhtar and myself, Nermeen Abdurrahman. Many thanks for watching. Tomorrow is another day with another crew. It's goodbye for now.